my amplified unit. Top of the morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you guys are in the world today. It is very early in the morning. There's no intro music. My assistant Sasha isn't even here. I mean, it's very early, man. Sun's not even up yet. But this is the only time I can do this Monday Night Raw review, which we will get to. I assure you, all 3 hours. I have my notes. I have all my thoughts from last night. And we're going to rock out this Raw review, man. Triple H post Clash at the Castle. And what he produced and what we got heading toward Extreme Rules, Crown Jewel, Survivor Series, all of this to end the year, man. Was Monday Night Raw a banger last night? We're going to talk all about it. But guys, first and foremost, I have to do a continuation of yesterday's live stream, which, by the way, incredible turnout for that live stream. I gave you guys less than an hour of notice. Over 1,000 of you guys up in the chat. Headed toward 10,000 on the views already. Headed toward 900 on the ups. I appreciate the hell out of you guys, man. What a turnout. And that was just BC talking about the Punk situation. Is it a work? Is it a shoot? Is it a mixture of both? And I told you guys in that live stream, no matter what, whether it's a work, shoot, mixture, CM Punk absolutely disintegrated, annihilated, completely and utterly, to the most amplified of measures, destroyed that locker room verbally, to the point where I don't know if a lot of them are going to be able to come back from this. Hangman Page has looked so fucking bad since Punk has been dragging his name. Now the EVPs, I mean, CM Punk totally took over the media scrum, making the boss, Tony Khan, look like chump meat. Looked like an absolute clown, a fool. I mean, Punk absolutely, if it was the seeds for a work, he took it just a little bit too far. And now it's starting to look more and more, man, from the stories we're hearing, that like this is way beyond a work. And what I mean by that is the report that came out, and I mentioned this in yesterday's live stream, but I didn't have enough info on it. And even passing out last night at 1 a.m., I didn't have enough info on it. But here we are at 5 a.m. when I caught wind of this story. You guys have to hear this, man. Now, I don't know how much of this is fully legit, but this is the most reputable story that's going around about the backstage confrontation, even fight, between CM Punk and the EVPs of AEW, the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, and Kenny Omega. It's early. I can speak. You know what? To talk about this the way that I want to talk about this in depth, I gotta start a coffee, and not just any coffee, man. I gotta hit the coffee bar hard. We're gonna do the kawaii coffee, guys. We're gonna do the vanilla macadamia nut. This is specialty coffee, man. It doesn't even come in these fucking pods. You know, the little fucking K-cup pods. Which a Dunkin' Espresso sounds pretty good right now, but it doesn't even come in these pods. Check this shit out. If we're going to talk this situation in AEW, man, we got to do it the right way. We're going to get the bag coffee. Check these pods out. Look at this shit, man. Little fucking domes. But it's some diesel coffee, man. It'll get me amplified, I assure you. So however long I got to speak on this topic, this will do the trick. Place that bad boy right there. Strength is ultra amplified. Temperature ultra amplified always. If you're wondering how BC does his coffee. Now hopefully that'll start brewing in the next few seconds. Because that's the only way we can talk about this, man. I'll get it jump started. I'm not going to go over what I said in yesterday's video. I'm going to not try not to. Yesterday's live stream. I already went over that, what it does for Hangman Page, what it does for Tony Khan, Cole Cabana, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, what it does for AEW, the perception of them, man. CM Punk, fucking, he just took a shit on it all. How much of it is a work, we don't know, but the company just looks like a farce right now. Like the inmates are running the asylum, but more specifically, one inmate, CM Punk. So I'm not going to go over that again. You guys can check that out. Over 2 hours of a live stream yesterday, which again, you guys rocked out. Now, I want to talk about this altercation. Listen to this. Altercation. I had to do a little cut there because this coffee was made quick. What the fuck? That's the fastest this machine has ever went, man. Now, it had Labor Day off yesterday. It was a day off. The employees all didn't have to show up. The coffee bar was shut down. So maybe it was just ready to rock out some coffee. Look at that shit, man. That was fast. I had to do a little cut there because I was like, wait, there's no way that coffee is done. Yes, it is, BC. All right, so let me get this started. So this altercation, man, PW Insider is reporting. Kenny Omega, along with Matt and Nick Jackson of the Young Bucks, confronted the newly crowned AEW champion CM Punk in his locker room. This is right after Punk went on that tirade in the media scrum, absolutely throwing EVPs, talent like Hangman Page, former talent, we believe, and Colt Cabana, even Tony Khan looking like an idiot. Right after this tirade, the Bucks and Omega said, nah, brah. And you remember, Punk ended that tirade at the media scrum. He ended it saying, if anybody wants to talk shit, come up to me and let's fucking go. So it looked like the Bucks and Omega were like, all right, let's fucking go. So they went up to Punk back in the locker room right after the media scrum. Now, the altercation, from what is being reported, involved Punk and the Bucks mostly. Omega not getting involved physically. Kenny Omega is too busy thinking about the damn video game that's coming out and everybody causing an uproar who's in it and who's not in the damn video game. Kenny Omega doesn't give a fuck about all these politics. This guy's trying to play a video game. That's kind of why I love Kenny Omega. So the Bucks are confronting Punk mostly. Now, according to the Observer, the original report is PW Insider. Now we go over to the Observer. I think that's Melty Boy, and I'm never sure whose dime he's on, if you know what I mean. But according to the Observer, it was Punk who threw the first punch, directing it at Matt Jackson. So Punk threw a punch. Punk's trainer, Ace Steel, got involved in the altercation. Multiple accounts state that Steel threw a steel chair at Nick Jackson in the eye. Observer then reports that Steel allegedly bit Omega and pulled his hair. But if Omega wasn't involved, why the fuck is Ace Steel going after poor Omega? The guy, again, is just on his phone trying to fucking iron out details for the video game. And Ace Steel is fucking attacking him? So Punk is over there throwing right hooks at Matt Jackson. I don't know what Nick is doing at this point. Fucking holding on to Punk's left leg, maybe? I don't know. It doesn't say what he's doing. Omega is getting bit and is getting his hair pulled and a steel chair thrown at him. Oh, no. That's what happened to Nick. Ace Steel threw a steel chair at Nick and then tried to take out Omega. This is a fucking circus if this is true. If this is not a fucking work, and you never know because it's Davey Meltzer, that I believe he's the Observer. If he's not, all apologies. I could have sworn he was the Observer. If it's not Melty, again, all apologies. But if it is Melty, I mean, even Punk called Melty Boy out in the tirade at the media scrum. He said, what did I do to deserve an empty-headed dumb fuck like Hangman Page spreading lies? You tell me, Dave, what did I do to deserve that? So he actually, you never know what Meltzer is involved in, but if this is a work, this is not something you would want to get out. I mean, this sounds like a fucking circus. So whoever thought it would be good to leak that if this is a work, that backfired. This sounds like a fucking clown show. I have to get this coffee started because I can't even comprehend what I am reading right now. It is early in the morning, and this is what we're waking up to. Oh, look at that shit, man. Look at that, man. That's just a regular creamer, and you see how it hits. This coffee, that's how fine-tuned this coffee is. I mean, that creamer will float to the top and just flutter, man. Oh, this is going to be a good coffee, guys, and it's needed. I can't believe, man, multiple accounts are stating that a steel chair was thrown to Nick Jackson's eye, and that steel allegedly bit and pulled the hair of Omega. Now, Melty and them were all there. I mean, they were still in the media scrum. Security ran out, but they were there. You know they're hearing from multiple people what happened. Seeing what's happening backstage, whatever the fuck the deal is. I doubt that they would get this wrong if this is legit. Now, that's not where it ends because, again, people want to say, well, it's got to be a work, right? This is too foolish. This is too much of a clown show. Well, get this, man. If it is, I mean, the locker room is literally taking the side of Omega and the Bucks, the EVPs, the company, and everybody is coming out and just bashing Punk now. So, again, if this is a work, nobody is coming out looking good. MJF just got overshadowed. He returned, and the headline is all about CM Punk, even today, this morning. MJF is already an afterthought. This guy just returned after months. He was supposed to be the biggest deal in pro wrestling when he came back, and Punk overshadowed that. Hangman Page has been taking a shit on. CM Punk has shit on Hangman Page 17 fucking times, and Hangman Page has yet to respond. He won't talk about it. He won't wipe the shit off of him. I feel so bad for Hangman Page. He doesn't look good from this. The EVPs are looking like literally they have no control. Tony Khan got shit on at the media scrum. It looked like Punk was running the business, and Tony Khan was a fanboy. In fact, there was one line, I went over this yesterday, where Punk said, I'm trying to run a fucking business here. And these irresponsible idiots are running around who call themselves EVPs when they couldn't even manage a target. That is basically a quote. And he said, I'm trying to run a business. And BC was like, wait, you're trying to run the business? And Tony Khan didn't even blink. In Tony Khan's credit, to his credit, I mean, most of that whole tirade, Tony Khan looked like he was about to fucking puke. He was like, fuck. It was like a look in his eyes like, I have lost control. Nobody looks good here. And not even CM Punk, because the locker room is even... Matt Hardy. I need a fucking swig, because this story is so fucking insane. Listen to this. Let me just get a swig. Salute to my amplified unit. I know it's early in the morning that I'm filming this, and I know this is a wild, absurd story that is taking shape, taking fold in AEW. Interestingly enough, this is causing the most interest in AEW since MJF Wardlow. So I wouldn't be shocked if they pull another $1 million+ for the third straight week, bro. Because everybody is interested in the car crash. Everybody is interested in the demolition derby. It's rubbernecking. You know, you're going down the highway and you see all the police cars and fire trucks and you're wondering what's happening. So you slow down and you're looking over, and that causes a bottleneck, right? Because everybody is rubbernecking to the other side of the highway. It's basically what everybody's doing for AEW, man. This could end up working in some way. And that's why I said, no matter if this is work, shoot, mixture, everybody eventually is going to have to put their big boy pants on, be grown-ups, and turn this into a full-out work. The problem is there's so much damage been done that not everybody can recoup their image, because everybody is getting tarnished in this whole CM Punk drama. And that's why I say, if this is a work fully, it's not going off correctly, man. People are looking bad. And again, even Punk, listen to this shit. Salute to my amp unit. Oh, man. Kauai coffee. Next time you guys are up in the market, not every market sells it. It's specialty coffee, but fucking amazing, man. Matt Hardy, after this whole drama, posted a photo of him and the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, the Elite, and side by side next to it, a separate photo of Hardy and Hangman Page. Solidarity with EVPs and the talent in AEW. Literally a shot over to Punk. Matt Hardy is showing where he stands. And we heard a lot about that over the last 24 hours with the locker room. His wife took it a step further. Rebby Sky Hardy. She says this. She sent a video, I believe it was. I think it was a video message by Matt Hardy's wife. And in it, and I quote, "Without the Bucks, AEW wouldn't exist. I cannot imagine showing up in their house and talking shit on them like that." She then posted a screenshot of Punk's quote recently on the Sasha Banks Naomi walkout where Punk said, and I quote, "Doesn't matter if your opinion of your coworker is positive or negative, stand with them because they'll do the same thing to you and you'll wish someone had helped. Trust me, you're expendable. Together, you're unstoppable." So this is Rebby pretty much calling Punk out on his shit. You say one thing, you do another. Now, this is the problem that BC has had with Punk for a long time. He took a shit on pro wrestling when he left. He was so bitter that he just started fucking knocking the fans and the industry, and I had enough. But I always said if he comes back, he embraces pro wrestling, admits his faults, we can all come together and sing Kumbaya, man. I'll just absolutely review his wrestling and his storylines, and so far BC has been more positive than negative on CM Punk. But now you're starting to see everybody else starting to see this other side that he does have with him, whether you love it or not. If you're a big CM Punk fan, I hear you. But there's this side to him, man, where if he wants to go into business for himself, it doesn't matter who he's being shit on. And it looks like Matt and Rebby Hardy. And Matt Hardy's been very vocal as of late, especially since he started his new podcast. He doesn't really hold too much shit back. He talks about anything and everything pretty openly. He's showing his solidarity. I mean, this is even leaked over to the WWE roster where Kevin Owens, you guys know, right after this media scrum, just like Matt Hardy posted these photos in solidarity with the Elite. Kevin Owens did the same thing. He posted a photo right after the media scrum of him and Stone Cold Steve Austin as the main event at WrestleMania this past year. And we all know that that was Punk's biggest regret, that he never got to wrestle in the main event of Mania. And this was almost like a shot over to him. But everybody was kind of like, is it? I mean, for BC, it absolutely was. Look at the timing of it. In the bitterness of Punk and just the anger in him, it was almost like Owens kind of reminding him of that and standing up for his buddies, obviously the Bucks, good friends of Kevin Owens. And then Owens took it a step further. You guys heard the promo last night, which we'll get to later with him face-to-face with Austin Theory. But Kevin Owens said this to Theory, and I quote, "You know what I despise more than anything else in this industry?" He says it's arrogant people and it's delusional people. And we've had some really arrogant people and extremely delusional people in WWE. You aren't the first, you won't be the last. That was a full quote to Austin Theory. You know what I despise more than anything else in this industry? It's arrogant people and it's delusional people. These were things that were being tossed around about Punk right after the media scrum by a lot of the industry. Kevin Owens all of a sudden echoes this right after he posts that photo, right after the scrum, when we know he's boys with the Bucks. And we heard. I think it was absolutely Fightful who said that it was going through the WWE locker room and how they were taking it. And everybody's asking how Triple H must feel about it right now, because Triple H called this out so long ago. My right-hand man on the channel, JR9 Gaming, I believe it was a SmackDown in I'm going to butcher it, man. I wanted to say 2011. But there was a SmackDown where Triple H let CM Punk know exactly how he felt. And he said, we're a lot alike. But the difference is I tell you to your face that I'll do whatever it takes to go to the top. You go behind people's back, and then you try to be a martyr. And that's the old adage of you say one thing, but then you do another. And it looks like a lot of people are just fed up. And that's what I mean. For anyone that thinks it's a full work, I think there was a little work planted in. Like he told Tony Khan he's going to go off a little bit. Tony's like, okay. Because Tony's got no fucking real control over Punk. I think that's why Hangman Page has had shitty booking the last couple of fucking months. I can't say that for sure, but isn't it kind of odd, the booking of Hangman Page? The guy can't even get a legit match on a 15-card night at All Out. He's got to fucking ask the Dark Order if they want a third member. The guy's sitting at catering while he gets called out by Punk. Irrelevant for fucking 2 months, and all of a sudden we find out that Punk has this huge grudge against him. Punk says he's running the business at the Scrum. Tony Khan's sitting there like he's a child being yelled at while his parent fucking goes off. I mean, I don't... If this is a work fully, I think it started... It stems from real life situation, right? Real anger, real issues. There's no doubt it's all starting out as a shoot. Same thing with MJF and Tony Khan. That was all real. They literally, MJF got pissed off. He felt he was worth more money. The contract he signed at the time, it changed because his stock value just went up. MJF became the guy. He was pulling in ratings that were higher than Punk for several weeks before Punk got switched to the Q1 segment 1 slot. So he said, well, wait, you're signing all these WWE guys. You're giving them these fat contracts. What about me? I'm pulling in all the numbers. and you're just giving me fucking peanuts because that's what we originally agreed on. Things change. Why don't you help me out? Hook me up a little bit more. Show me you value me. It started from realness, guys. Same thing with Hangman Page and Punk. And I believe that Punk told Tony, yeah, he's gonna make this a little bit of a story. Punk and Tony Khan went along with it. And then it just takes on a life of its own. And then you kind of got to blur the lines, right? Then you got to make it a work again. But if it's not done correctly, it turns into a circus, like what we're hearing backstage with this fight between the Young Bucks and Punk. And why the fuck is Ace Steel right there? I know he was on TV with Punk last week, but is he really? Is he the little chihuahua? Is he taking the place of Larry for CM Punk? You know, that's what makes me think like, you know, that sounds like a story to me. Why would Ace Steel be right there with Punk fighting the guys he works with, the EVPs? It's almost like they're continuing what we saw on TV. That's why I absolutely understand people saying this sounds like a big work. You throw in Ace Steel biting and pulling the hair of Omega. Ace Steel just being with Punk and fighting. I know they're boys. He trained Punk. But he's working with the EVPs, man. He's their hire. You just don't start beating the shit out of your bosses. It does sound like and if it's not a work fully, it's a clown show because they let this real situation take it so far that if Tony Khan doesn't fix this, he should get out of the wrestling business because this is a fucking farce of an industry. I'm all for backstage fighting, right? Egos are at an all-time high and people are fucking... But the way this is being done, I mean, this is just sad. This is so sad. And if this is more real than a work, then, man, did Punk absolutely ravage that locker room. Because I'm not saying it was hunky-dory. Even Cody Rhodes saw that it wasn't all a bed of roses. But I think Cody left when Punk was already there, didn't he? So maybe he saw the writing on the wall, but I think it's a mixture. A lot of shoot, a little bit of work, and maybe they're trying to make it more of a work and less of a shoot. It's just not happening, and it looks really ugly, and what I am reading is just, man, I don't even know if this is better to be a work or better to be a shoot because it's a clown show. It's a fucking circus. And Cody Rhodes got out right in the nick of fucking time, man. No pun intended to Nick Jackson. He got the fuck out right at the exact perfect time. And now Cody Rhodes, when he comes back from injury, is probably going to dethrone Roman Reigns, become champion. Meanwhile, in AEW, the fucking EVPs are in turmoil. The fucking company, from what we're looking at, is in turmoil. And again, I ask, for the 100th time in the last 2 days, if it's a work, who's being worked? Us? Are we being worked? Is the locker room being worked? The wrestling industry? And if so, when we find out that answer, who is it helping in the long run? You sure as hell ain't helping Tony Khan or the EVPs. They look like they've lost so much control that the perception of AEW has taken a hit. Hangman Page, I don't even know if Hangman Page can be rectified at this point. Cole Cabana has gotten all these headlines, and he's not even a part of AEW anymore, it doesn't look like. MJF just returned. He should be the biggest headline, at least for a few weeks. Immediately, he was already the second headline over Punk's tirade. An afterthought. MJF doesn't get helped out. Punk doesn't even get helped out. Matt Hardy and other people in that locker room taking the sides of the EVPs and having nothing good to say about Punk. So Punk doesn't even come out of this looking, unless Punk's character is now going to be like an uber heel. I said it in yesterday's stream. Maybe he tags up with, not tags, because I'm not a big fan of factions anyway. But if there's some unit with him and MJF and they're against the authority, that could be a really fun angle. MJF and CM Punk totally just trying to take over AEW because they already feel they have the power. They have Tony Khan right where they want him. The EVPs have no real control, so Punk and MJF think that they can take over from within. That could be a fun story. It's the only way I feel we can rectify any of this. But would they be ballsy enough to go MJF and CM Punk in some type of a unit? Remains to be seen. But that's the latest that, guys, I know I had to spend a long 20-minute, whatever the fuck it was, cold open. 25 minutes. But, I mean, this is what BCE was waking up to. The second I hit the studio, the second I put up the fucking major headlines, did my due diligence, tapped into the people that I know, this is the latest. I mean, reputable sources, anybody that can back up these sources, anybody that can back up the claims, this is all we're hearing. So it's all that I can report to you. So a lot of you guys are probably going to be waking up to this insanity as well. I don't know, man. Again, work, shoot, mixture. AEW comes out looking pretty bad here. But again, because there's so much chaos, insanity, so much turmoil, people love that. Controversy creates cash. A demolition derby attracts an audience. And it is post all out. I wouldn't be shocked if they pull a third straight million plus. And if that's the case, Tony Khan has to go, well, at least something's going right. People give a fuck about our mess, our turmoil, my circus. I don't know. You just wish you were doing it the right way, right? It doesn't look like desperation. You're pulling in million plus viewership and you're doing it with good storylines between many different wrestlers and many different equations, and not just this one AEW is a shit show story. You know, you wish you were doing it the right way, but beggars can't be choosers. They've been trying to crack 1 million for the longest time. They got 2 straight in a row. Let's go for 3, I guess, man. Maybe Tony is in those by any means necessary type of stances. Salute, unit, for going through that. I know that's wild. This is nuts. I can't even believe what I am seeing, reading, having to talk about. I can't even believe it, man. I really can't. Let me know how you guys feel about it down below for sure. Salute. We'll go over to Monday Night Raw in just a second. Let me give a big swig. I need a big swig, man, to talk about this 3-hour show. I'm going to try to go over it fast as possible. I'm not going to keep you here all day. But there's some things we need to talk about, like Braun Strowman returning and literally wiping out the tag division. No, literally. SmackDown, Raw, doesn't matter. He took out the entire tag division. Was that really necessary? The main event was a steel cage match. Dexter Lumis. We'll go over it. And we'll do it right now. Not going to waste any more of your guys' time. Edge starts this show. This is Monday Night Raw, 9/5/22, Labor Day here in the States. Edge demanding that Dominik Mysterio comes to the ring, answers for his actions from Saturday night. Instead, Papa Ray Ray heads to the ring, and he tries to ask Edge not to retaliate on his son. Edge says, "I'm sorry, Ray. You're like a brother to me. You know I love you." But he says, Dominik is old enough to drive. Dominik is old enough to, whatever he said, vote. He's old enough to drink. So he's old enough to answer for his actions. He's old enough to get his ass to the ring. He says, so Dominik, get your ass to the ring right now. And Ray Ray's like, bro, I want no part of this, man. I can't do this. Ray Ray, I think, actually left the ring for a moment because he just wanted nothing to do with this. Instead, Rhea Ripley hits the top of the ramp. And she's followed not long after. She says some words to Edge. And then not long after, Dominik Mysterio comes right out, dressed in black. His hair even looked fucking like it was dyed more black. Maybe it's always that color. I don't know. He just looked like a little bit of a different Dominik, man. Stoic. Like they really got into this dude's dome piece. Obviously a full-fledged member of Judgment Day now. Or at least that's what it looked like when he was standing side by side with Rhea. And as they're up there, Priest and Finn Balor attack Edge from behind in the ring. Ray Ray, I believe, tries to help him out, but he's attacked by Rhea Ripley and Dominik on the outside of the ring. So you got Edge being attacked by Priest and Balor on the inside. On the outside, Rhea and Dominik are taking out Dom's father, Ray Ray. So they're just getting fucked up. Back inside the ring, Priest puts a steel chair around Edge's ankle, and Balor hits the coup de grace on the steel chair, subsequently snapping the ankle of Edge. Now, I don't know if it actually snapped and broke it because later on, Rhea Ripley said that Dominik is going to take on Edge and put him into permanent retirement. So if Edge is having a match, I doubt he'd do that on a snapped ankle. But it looked like he fucking snapped it. The steel chair was wrapped around it and coup de grace was hit. So it looked like Edge couldn't even stand up. Ray Ray had to eventually try to help him, and Ray Ray took a beating earlier. So Dominik solidifies his place in the Judgment Day as we go to break. It was such a good way to start Raw with a real story. I did, like a lot of you guys, I was done with this whole Judgment Day, Edge, Ray Ray, Dominik. I was done with that. I just felt it dragged a little bit. I'm all for long-term storytelling. I don't have the attention span of a fucking sponge, but I was not too enthusiastic about this. Clash, I felt it was done beautifully. Let's move on. But the way they started this, it was a good continuation of the story. It was good to solidify Dominik in the Judgment Day. And the way that it was told, everybody played their part beautifully. So even though BC thought I was done with this, just when you think you're out, they pull you back in. And they pulled me back in. Now, if this somehow ends up with Beth Phoenix having another match, tagging up with Edge, maybe even Ray Ray to go against Rhea Ripley, Dominik, and maybe Balor or something like that, Priest, then I'm okay with this. One more fucking time, let's run it back. But I want to see Beth Phoenix, man. I feel she has so much more to offer. I know she's a mom. She doesn't need this shit, but she's in such great shape. We saw from her last match, she can rock the fuck out. Who was that? With Edge against Miz and Maurice, I believe. Beth Phoenix, I'd love to see her back. And Beth Phoenix versus Rhea Ripley, one-on-one or schmaz style. Beth Phoenix versus Rhea Ripley, I'm just into. So I was okay with this first segment. It's just really good to see storytelling take the forefront. You don't have to start off with a fucking match or a short promo and then it turns into a match and then two more people come down, so it's a holla, holla, holla playa. Teddy Long classic. where we have an impromptu tag match stemming from the one-on-one match. If you guys catch, you know the format that we've gotten for years. It's good to just tell a fucking story. Let it breathe. 15, 20-minute segment. Let the shit breathe. Always remember, guys, the shows are for the stories. Of course, we get some matches, obviously. Maybe you'll even get a 20, 25, 30-minute banger, which is what the kids want these days. They just want fucking long matches and high-flying spots, and fucking just their attention span is just, it's quick, right? If you got a chokehold or a chin lock or a Boston Crab, people are going to start to snore. That's where we're at as professional wrestling fans today, I guess. I don't like it, and I'm not that type, I assure you. But the shows are for the stories, man. The pay-per-views are for the matches. The real long matches, the culminating moments. That's where the payoff should be, the culminating payoff. Again, matches absolutely during the show. It's a pro wrestling show, but the focus should be on the stories, storytelling. It's going to be promo-driven for sure. Backstage segments, parking lot. Maybe they're at the bar. Maybe they're in the supermarket like Stone Cold and Booker T. You never know. Storylines should be the focal point of the weekly television shows. The pay-per-view is the epic payoffs. Again, matches throughout the night, of course. 1, maybe 2 longer matches, 20-minute plus, of course. But storylines, they have to take the forefront. Otherwise, you just have what like AEW does. And Tony Khan just puts good. He's not a real booker for storylines, right? Tony Khan is not a good creative booker. He just puts together good matches, right? He can put together 6 dudes that can fly like shooting stars, right? And everyone's attention is going to be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then afterwards, we're going to be like, whoa, that was awesome. That was a banger. And then we do another one and another one, right? Because anybody in AEW can do that. You could have Penta versus Pac. You could have Ospreay versus Omega. You could have Dante Martin versus fucking Wheeler Utah. I don't know. Darby Allin. Triple threat. I don't even know, man. Everybody can kind of fly and do the same thing in AEW. So you just put them in matches and the crowd will just be like, yeah, I can't wait. I'm going to see the same moves I always see. The dive, the moonsault, the flip, the 450. It's going to be crazy. The corkscrew. What the fuck was that? Yankee twist of fate. Fucking wow dive. I don't know what they're calling them anymore. Anybody can do that these days, man. Every wrestler is just doing the same thing. They're all learning in their backyard on the trampoline. So when they get to the ring, they just use the ring as the trampoline. You know, storylines have to take the forefront. I already went over that in yesterday's stream, man. I went like fucking 20 plus minutes on that. It just aggravates the shit out of me. You know, and I'm starting to see Tony Khan do that more on his shows. He's depending on those type of matches. The whole last half an hour of last week's Dynamite was just fucking nonstop ping pong frisbee. I mean, you could just insert the wrestlers with like a ping pong ball and a free, right? Kenny Omega, turn him into a ping pong ball. Ospreay is a frisbee. The Young Bucks are fucking basketballs, and you just bounce, and all these fucking things are going all over the place. I mean, if you have a pet, put them in front of the TV screen, and they'll just be fucking flipping and diving just as much as the wrestlers or gymnasts. You know, Tony Khan's relying on that too much. I can't wait till the promoters put the storyline back into professional wrestling, and at least H is doing more of that. So I can respect that. So that was I felt that was a good way to start off the show. The culmination has to be coming up. This has to be the last month of this. Beth Phoenix, insert her, and then we call it a day. Back in the parking lot, speaking of the parking lot, Miz is being interviewed about the odd and random last few weeks that he's been having involving Dexter Lumis. And it just gets odder and even more random when they come across a car completely flipped over in the parking lot. And Miz is like, what the fuck? No, this is what I'm talking about care, right? I mean, you know what it takes to fucking to have this thought in the creative meeting? Like, hey, what if we just have the car flipped over, and then you have to literally have A tow truck and a bunch of motherfuckers flip over a car, have the smoke like they had last night coming from the car, like it was freshly flipped over. All the personnel on the phone. I mean, it takes care to do something that simple on your television show, but it's something that we haven't seen enough of in the last 10 years. It's so cool that they did that. A few weeks ago when H just took over, you saw a car crashed, and you saw who was it, Nikki, A.S.H, and Doudrop around it. It was like they crashed their car, and you were like, whoa, they actually crashed a car just for the background. Somebody else was being interviewed. That was just in the background, and they had a crashed car. That's attention to detail. That's caring about your television show, and I really respect H for doing that. Now, of course, the illusion is it Dexter Lumis that had this car flipped over? Right? Because Miz came across it. Now he's like, oh, fuck. What the fuck is happening? How do I come across a flipped car in the lot? But if you're thinking about it, you heard the rumors of Braun Strowman coming back to WWE. You see a flipped over car. A lot of us were like, well, that was Braun Strowman's gimmick. And we heard that he could show up on Raw. Some people thought he most likely was showing up. But I like how they created the illusion, like, could it be Dexter Lumis? Because it is the Miz that came across this. So I just love that. And more than anything, just the care. The care that somebody thought about it in the meeting, and they just decided, let's do it. Let's put it in the budget. Let's put a team over there, and let's get that segment done. And it's cool, man. There was a flipped fucking car in the lot, man. Smoking, people fucking panicking. Miz is like, what the fuck am I walking into? We go to commercial. I like it. It's a break from the fucking normal. We'll get to Braun Strowman in a little bit, actually. Actually, right now, because the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team Schmaz match, a.k.a. a VKM Classic, was next. I don't know if Triple H just had to go to the bathroom here and Vince McMahon snuck into the fucking building. He's like, everybody, get in there. Everybody, come on. New Day. New Day's like, but we're SmackDown talent. Vince is like, just get in there, damn it. I want everybody in there. Damn it, or you're fired. This is a Fatal 4-Way Tag Schmaz. VKM Classic. Street Profits versus the Los Lotharios versus the New Day versus the Alpha Academy. And the winners, I don't even know what they get. They get to paint the Usos' bedrooms, I guess, right? Jay is like, no, I wanted that section blue. Kofi, what are you doing? How does that pink? You get to paint the Usos' bedroom. No, I believe it's for a future title opportunity because this is all they do. Just win a fucking schmaz every single time we need to find out who number one contenders are. Can't stand that. That's why I call it a VKM Classic. I honestly believe Triple H was locked in a bathroom during this during this creative portion. You guys know I can't stand these schmazes, man. Wouldn't have to. Well, actually, it did take kind of long. It went through 2 commercial breaks, and then finally, Braun Strowman's music hits. Strowman's music hits. Sure enough, Braun Strowman returns to WWE, hits the ring, and he starts taking every motherfucker out. Los Lotharios, Street Profits. I mean, nobody looked good here, aside from Braun. I'm glad they book you like a monster, finally, and hopefully, unlike Vince, they don't pull you back, right? They used to give Braun Strowman 2 inches and then take him back a mile. I'm hoping Triple H brings him up a mile and then kicks him in the ass another mile forward. If you're going to make him a monster, make him a monster. But I always say this, man, and this is what I mean about the CM Punk. If it's a work, you can't just raise one person up by tearing everybody else down. Well, I'm saying the same thing here, man. It's great you're pumping up Braun. You can't tear up everybody else, and they literally tore up the entire tag division, or most of them. The Viking Raiders and maybe one other team were not involved. Other than that, the entire tag division was taken out here, man. He took out Alpha Academy, Los Lotharios, Street Profits, The New Day. And I'm like, oh, man. But I'm like, okay, maybe it's a new Braun, right? He's got these red pants on. He doesn't have that damn singlet anymore. He looks in great shape. Maybe he's just a true monster. And then he does the fucking thing again. The fucking train symbol where he's going to run around the ring. Fucking hitting everyone. I'm like, no, leave that, bro. Leave it. But he does it. He goes outside, and sure enough, it's a bad omen. He goes to fucking take out Gable, and it looked like anyway. I have to go back. I haven't watched the second time, guys. This is my observation when it was live. It looked like he just fell on his face. The camera was the hard cam. It wasn't one of the ringside cams, cam 2, cam 3. Or cam 2 is now that's now the fucking, the dolly one. So I think 3, it doesn't matter. The ringside cams didn't pick it up. It was the hard cam. So all you saw is Strowman running full speed, and then it looks like he falls. I thought maybe Gable botched. No, he was down for like 4 seconds. And then he gets back up and he charges into Otis and takes him through the barricade. But Gable looked like, oh shit, I just saw a fucking 9'5", 800-pound beast just fall on his face. Slight exaggeration on the measurements, but you get the point. But it really did look like Strowman fell on his face. I have to go back and see if there's a different angle, see if what I saw was correct. Maybe Gable just botched. I don't know, bro. It looked like Strowman was going full speed, and he fucking fell on his face. And when he got up, there was rips on his knees. I have to find out if those were already on his pants, or did he get it when he fell? I have to see, man. I got to look at his pants when he first came out. Maybe they were just stylish, and there's rips where the knees are. Or did that happen when he fell? I don't know. But it looked like the dude fucking fell. And if there's video on that, bro, I'm not saying it's going to beat the time when Titus O'Neil fell. Do you guys remember when Titus O'Neil was running down one of those Saudi Arabia? I think it was the greatest Royal Rumble ever. And Titus O'Neil is running at a pace I've never seen him hit. He should not have been running. He should have been 10 miles an hour slower. And he just trips right before he goes to the ring, and he slides completely. Baseball slide, head first underneath the ring. Corey Graves is cracking the fuck up. Michael's cracking the fuck. BC can't stop laughing because when I try to stop, they keep laughing. All of us were just cracking up for the rest of them. I mean, it was the funniest thing I've ever seen in professional wrestling. Titus O'Neil taking a shitter. And because he wasn't hurt, we could laugh more, right? If he got hurt, we wouldn't be laughing that much. In fact, I heard that there's usually that steel beam in the middle of the ring. He could have that could have been damaging to a really bad state. But because that was removed and he slid completely under and didn't get injured, guys, that's the funniest moment in WWE history, in pro wrestling history, other than the Shockmaster maybe, which is more sad than anything. Because I used to love Tugboat. And he turned into the fucking Shockmaster. And during his debut, he busts through the wall and he falls on his face. His mask comes off. If you guys never saw that, Google, YouTube, whatever, Shockmaster WCW. You'll see what I'm talking about. His debut. Funny and sad. Titus O'Neil was just funny. And I have to see the Strowman thing again. Because if he legit fell on his face, that's going to be right underneath the Titus O'Neil shit. Maybe somebody botched. I don't know. It was funny. I was like, what just happened to Strowman? What the fuck happened to his choo-choo train? Did everybody get off board, man? Unreal, man. So then he takes out Otis through the barricade, takes fucking Dawkins through the table. I mean, that's what I mean. I mean, he destroyed everybody. The entire tag division. Check you later. And then afterwards, he even annihilates security. So, I mean, I love, if you're going to do this, if you're going to bring back Strowman, he's either a monster or he's not. And that's where Vince always fucked up. He would make him a monster for a while and then take him right the fuck back. Then make him a monster, then take him the fuck back. I feel that's how he fucked up with Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt was connecting. Bray Wyatt was the highest merchandise seller. Bray Wyatt was the highest in the rated segments. Bray Wyatt was, even if some people didn't like Bray, the fact is Bray Wyatt connected. Bray Wyatt was the number one guy. In terms of ratings, merchandise, even his booking was good more than it was bad. The problem was when he got to the big matches, Vince McMahon had him lose. Whether it was Randy Orton at WrestleMania, Goldberg in Saudi Arabia, Seth Rollins at Hell in a Cell, it didn't matter. You booked him up to be this beast, and then he fucking loses on the biggest of stages. You can't do that shit. You can't. And that's where they fucked up Braun so many times. And now he's back. Okay, he's beating up security, beating up the locker room. All right, you better keep going with it then. And you better find ways that he's not destroying whole fucking divisions. You know? I don't know about the call to beat up the entire tag division in one night. You're raising someone up. Beautiful. You're tearing everyone else down. And then they did this thing where they went to the pitcher-in-pitcher commercial break, and it was cool. He just is stepping over his destruction, and he's just yelling at the refs. The whole commercial. And one of the refs tells him to get back in the ring and deliver a power slam to Gable to kill some more time. And then it was funny. When we come back from break, you see a referee jump up on the apron on the ring because Braun's in the middle of the ring. He jumps up and he starts screaming, we're on, go! And Braun hurries up to get out of the ring. It was funny. The referee's like, we're on, red light, what are you doing? I think Braun was supposed to see the red light and then go on his own cue, maybe. I don't know. The referee was being yelled at by Triple H, or at this point, maybe it was Vince again. It was a tag team schmoz, and it was Braun Strowman returning. Maybe Vince was booking at this point. But somebody's yelling at the referee to get up on the apron. Strowman's being yelled at. He runs away like his father just scolded him. So that was fun. You can go back and check that out, too. And then we end hour number 1 with Raquel, Gonzalez, and Aliyah versus A.S.H and Doudrop. Gonzalez pins Doudrop by mega slamming her from the ropes in just a couple of minutes. And it was a mega slam. In other words, Doudrop was up on the ropes and Raquel just fucking picks her up and like she has her there for a few seconds and just slams her, man. It looked pretty impressive. But no matter how impressive it looked for Raquel, man, this is so sad for the women's division. First, Iyo Sky, one of the best wrestlers in the world for the females, and Dakota Kai, an amazing female talent in her own right. Iyo and Dakota defeated by Aliyah and newcomer Raquel as well last week. This week, Doudrop, Piper Niven, and Nikki Cross, fuck A.S.H, Nikki Cross being defeated by Aliyah and Raquel. That's not even shade to Raquel, by the way, or Aliyah. But wow. I mean, these losses take their toll, man. I mean, all these females are being beat by Aliyah and Raquel, and it's just like, for what? Why did they? Why would you not just have Aliyah? If this was going to be 2 minutes anyway, hear me out on this, guys. Hear me out on this. If this was going to be 2 minutes anyway, and it's just to show how impressive Raquel really is and her might, why did Doudrop and Nikki have to be in there? Because Doudrop weighs more and it's going to be more impressive to slam her? Then just have 3-on-2 then because it's Raquel. I don't know, but have a jobber match. It's only 2 minutes anyway. It's just to showcase Raquel and Aliyah's talent. Just put 2 females in there, local talents. Just put 2 local talents. Sassy Sandy, dumb fuck Deborah, put them in there and have them get squashed. You didn't have to do dirty to Piper Niven and to Nikki Cross. That's what I mean, man. Can't we do better than that? Jobber matches are effective. Perhaps more than anything, it keeps other talent from getting squashed. Actual superstars from getting squashed. That's basically what happened here. And that ends hour number 1. We're not done talking about Raquel and Aliyah. They'll be putting their titles on the line next week. We'll get to that in just a few minutes. I think that was hour number... Actually, that's coming up later in hour number 2. So let's jumpstart that, man. Austin Theory starts hour 2. A harmless botch to start his promo off. He calls Clash at the Castle Crown Jewel. But he played it off good. He played it off like the knockout that Tyson gave him from Saturday night is still affecting him. So I like that. But it was a harmless botch. If anything, it's advertising for next month's Crown Jewel. Is that October or November? But either way, I think it's November maybe. Right? But we'll say next month. It's October, November. I don't know. Crown Jewel is coming up. If anything, it's free advertising. There you go. And again, it's selling the knockout from Tyson Fury from Saturday night. So I'm okay with this botch. Clash of the Castle called Crown Jewel. Then Kevin Owens comes out, totally embarrasses Theory with one zinger after another. You know how Owens is, man. He'll verbally annihilate you. After some verbal back and forth, we end up with a one-on-one match. And again, I already told you guys what he said to Theory in some of this back and forth. saying that one of the things he hates the most in this industry is arrogant and delusional people, and we've had many here in WWE. You ain't the first, you certainly won't be the last. Of course, most of us think that was a direct zinger to CM Punk, especially after what he posted after the media scrum. So that was interesting as well. Kevin Owens is really making it a point to show you whose side he's on, the EVPs, his buddies, the Young Bucks. So that was involved in this as well. In this one-on-one match, Owens would end up defeating Austin Theory with a KO stunner. This is great for the momentum of Kevin Owens. It's really cool to see that dude get his mojo back. Not Mojo Rawley, but his mojo, his momentum. It's so good to see Owens being booked like this and H doing it the right way. This is not so good for the momentum or lack thereof of Theory, though. Theory, he's got to be careful. I mean, he's being booked kind of clownish, right? He comes out to cash in and he gets knocked out by Tyson out of nowhere, a dude in the front row. Then he's just getting beat by Kevin Owens. You gotta be careful. You know, I know it fits the character and he can take a few of these clown L's, but man, if you string together too much of this booking, people are literally gonna just laugh at the fact that you're holding that briefcase. You don't want to get it to that point. So, okay, we had the laughs at his expense. He's played the tool. He's played the clown. He's taken the L's. Let's relax just a little bit, right? And I don't know if that's going to happen because later in the night, it was hour 2. I don't think it's going to be against Theory, though. Gargano, backstage. He announced that he's going to have his first match in a long time next week on Monday Night Raw, going head-to-head with Monday Night Football. Johnny Gargano. I don't think that's against Theory, guys. But they did have a face-to-face. But I think it's just Gargano separately. They should not be doing that next week. I hope it's not against Theory. Because Gargano can't lose, and I don't want to see Theory take another L for a while. So I'll have to do some more research on that. But Gargano is coming back next week, guys. He announced that not too long after this match where Owens defeated Theory. Again, great for Owens. I don't know what this does for Austin Theory. Owens also said, "Oh, look, I just noticed you got your first name back, Austin." And Theory's like, yeah, man. Everybody's fucking talking about it. Looks like Tommaso got his. Everyone's got their names back. It's a beautiful thing. The bulk of hour 2 was really just the Gargano announcing he's going to have a match next week, finally. We had a very long recap video of the Clash at the Castle. And we also had a tribute to military personnel. And this all surrounded 2 separate commercial breaks. And believe it or not, ended up taking up the bulk of hour 2 somehow. I know it doesn't seem like it would. Clash at the Castle recap. Gargano backstage announcing he's coming back next week. A military personnel shout out. A couple of commercials, and before you know it, with the end of hour 2, which is Damage Control. Bayley, Iyo Sky, Dakota Kai. They're cutting a promo middle of the ring, talking about their W on Saturday night over Bianca, Alexa, and Asuka. They're talking about how they're controlling the WWE. Now, I love these gals. You guys know that. You know how high I am on Iyo, Dakota, and even Bayley when she turned heel. Love these gals. But this promo was brutally scripted and just so unauthentic. It was one of those promos where each of them say a line at a time, and it's like pass the baton, right? So fucking Bayley says something, and then it's Io's time to look into the camera and say a line. And then Dakota looks into the camera and says a line. And then it's back to Bayley. And it was just, man, it was just not authentic. It just seems so brutally forced. And just nothing that you can grab onto and go, oh, that was good. Or, oh, I should pay attention to their mission statement. None of it, man. It really wasn't. I'm breaking shit here. My assistant Sasha's not even here. Oh, hopefully I can put that together, huh? Oh boy, she's not gonna be happy. My assistant comes in, man. When she starts work, she gives an overlay of the studio, makes sure that I didn't break anything new. I just broke some other stuff. Oh, we'll see, man. Hopefully, I'll typical guy shit 101. Mickey Mouse that shit quickly, right? For super glue, duct tape, whatever the fuck it takes, man. And hope that they don't notice for a long fucking time. That's Guy Code 101. Anyway, yeah, it just seemed ultra scripted. Bayley says that, or no, let me go to the, what was it? Bianca Belair hits the ring. That's what it was. Bianca hits the ring by herself. No Asuka, no Alexa. In fact, I don't even think they were on the show last night. Bianca just came to the ring, and she's not even afraid of the numbers game, guys. I mean, it's 3-on-1, and Bianca doesn't even give a fuck. And why should she be? It's almost like if you're following the trajectory of Damage Control, why would Bianca be afraid? What is there to be afraid of? I mean, since SummerSlam, they have not been booked properly. They're in a fucking tag tournament, which easily Iyo and Dakota should be winning, and they get rolled up by Aliyah. Dakota Kai rolled up by Aliyah in one of the worst roll-ups I've ever seen. On the count of 3, Aliyah's almost standing up already, not even fucking holding Dakota down. It was so sad to see. And then they win, what, a 6-woman tag on Saturday night? I mean, is that the best booking for them? An overly scripted promo? Why would Bianca be scared? She just gets in the ring like she owns the fucking place. Storyline-wise, you wouldn't blame her. Damage Control retreats, in fact. Literally. They just get out of the ring. I think there was a little bit of back and forth, and then they just leave the ring, man. No joke. They have the numbers right there. They leave the ring. Bayley says if and when she wants that title, she'll get it one way, and she pushes up Iyo, or another, and she pushes up Dakota. Like, don't forget, I have the numbers. And I have many options to get that title from you. So I like the little warning. We're not going to get physical now. I like how Bayley said we have the day off because it's Labor Day. But it just, I don't know what this is doing for Damage Control. How much damage are they really creating? Are they controlling anything in WWE? No, not even the women's division, not even the tag team division in the women, which is non-existent anyway. I don't know how you can't control that. But that brings me to my another subject here. They did announce that next week is going to be the rematch, Dakota and Iyo versus Aliyah and Raquel for the tag titles. Is it a case of too little, too late? The time has passed. If you give the titles to Dakota and Iyo now, then why the fuck didn't they just originally get it last week? That's not storytelling. That's stupidity at its highest and finest. That's stupidity. You had Dakota rolled up by Aliyah. Oh, because she pinned the wrong person. She wasn't legal. That's the storyline, BC. It's stupid. It's dumb. I don't even think that was supposed to be the fucking story. Oh, no, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Because the way that Dakota was telling Asuka that after the match, it did seem like that was the way it's supposed to go. But it wasn't harped upon. I mean, afterwards, we were all just talking about how they just got beat. It doesn't matter how they got beat. Aliyah rolled you up, dude. And then in 2 weeks, you just get it. You get the titles finally? What the fuck are we doing? The only damage is being done to Control. And if they don't get the titles next week, then they just another fucking opportunity where they cannot get titles from Aliyah and Raquel. God, it's a bummer because I have so much respect for Bayley and Dakota. And Iyo, another level. Sasha Banks, I feel, is the best women's wrestler in the world. And right underneath her, I think, is Iyo Sky. I do. That's in the eye of the beholder. I'm not saying you need to agree with that. But based on what I've seen and my facts, that's how good Iyo is. And just to see them, I mean, SummerSlam was their high point. That was their high point. They peaked when they debuted. And ever since, it's been like nothing. They were just thrown in this 6-woman tag shit for the last since their debut. They have the match on Saturday, and now where are we going, man? Nothing was definitive between Belair and Bayley. The seeds that were planted were very subtle. I don't know if that tree can really grow as tall and prosperous as it would have if this was done more correctly. And the tag titles for Iyo and Dakota already been botched. They're going to have to think of something uber creative next week if you're going to put the titles on them. I'll stop the harping right there, man. That was the end of our number 2. By the way, Damage Control has new theme music. I can't even be too positive on that. I'm not sure it fits them. To their credit, I only heard it once though when they came out, or maybe twice when they were exiting as well. I think they played it, but I have to hear it on its own, like just a fucking arena theme or something. You can find that on the tube. I have to hear the theme song, and then I can accurately say A, I like it, and B, it fits them. Right? I have to do that. But up front, hearing it in the crowd with Michael Cole screaming or Jimmy Smith screaming over whatever, I can't say that it fits them or I like it. But I'll do more due diligence on this new theme music. I don't want to totally shit on it without hearing it by itself. Because that's a big thing. When a wrestler gets new theme music, I mean, that's their theme music for a while. They can't just change it every fucking week. If people are like, wait, this sucks, they're stuck with that for a while. You hope you have good theme music. Hour number 3, Rey Mysterio versus Damien Priest. Numbers game made it to the point that Priest was basically just toying with Rey throughout this entire match. Rey went for the 619 toward the end, but Dominik stepped up on the apron, and Rey was not about to take out his own son. This led to Priest clotheslining Rey's dome piece into section 302 next to Huckleberry Henderson, the fucking hot dog vendor. We all know Huckleberry Henderson, right? It's the guy you get your beer and your hot dogs from. Well, he was up in section 302, and that's where you could find half a fucking Rey Mysterio. That clothesline from Priest was fucking massive, bro. Moments later, Priest collects the W. Post-match, Rhea Ripley says that next week, Edge will be put into permanent retirement by Dominik. Looks like that match is official to go up against Monday Night Football. So they're stacking that card for next week to go against MNF. They're stacking it with the debut of Johnny Gargano, in-ring wise for the main roster. Tag titles are on the line. Are Dakota and Iyo finally going to have their fucking moment? And then they're also promoting Dominik and Edge, this grudge match rivalry coming to a culminating moment there, but I expect Rhea obviously to jump in. It looks like they're doing a lot with the twosome of Priest and Balor, and then Rhea Ripley and Dominik are like a twosome I've noticed. They're really pairing them up, Rhea and Dominik. So this is why I think Beth Phoenix could be showing up next week on Monday Night Raw to prolong that. In which case I will be okay with. Main event, steel cage match for the U.S. title. Bobby Lashley versus The Miz. Miz has Lashley defeated thanks to the distraction from Tommaso Ciampa. He chooses to go over the top of the cage. I miss that. That's old school steel cage matches. I hate when there's just a pinfall. No, back in the day, you go over the top of the cage. Your both feet have to touch the floor. That's how you used to win steel cages, man. That should be the sole rule. So Miz is going over the cage. And on his way down, he looks down and he sees Dexter Lumis laying down from underneath the ring. So picture it. He's going down. He looks down. Half of Dexter Lumis's body is out from underneath the ring. So his legs are underneath the ring. His back is to the mat, and he's looking up at the Miz as he comes down, and his eyes are it's Dexter Lumis, you know? I mean, it is super freaky, while simultaneously super funny. If you know, you know. If you saw it, you know what I'm talking about. It's freaky because it's Lumis, but it's super funny the way this guy's looking at fucking Miz. So now Miz is crawling back over the top rope. He's trying to get back into the ring. So he's basically saying, listen, I'm caught between two monsters, but this monster is less vicious than or less freaky than that monster. So he's choosing to go back to Lashley. He wants nothing to do with Lumis. But when he gets back into the ring, he is met with a Lashley spear. 1, 2, 3. Lashley wins and retains his United States Championship. Post-match, Lashley locks Miz into the cage because Miz tried to get the fuck out. Lashley shuts the door, locks Miz in. Dexter Lumis goes over the top, gets into the cage, and Dexter Lumis locks Miz up until he passes out, and we go off the air. Miz is just lifeless. Dexter Lumis is like, fuck. And that's how we go off the air, man. So this Dexter Lumis thing is just so fucking bizarre. But sometimes bizarre will bring in that viewership. We'll see what they pull, man, later today in the ratings, man, because, you know, the way the way H formatted this, with the big storyline from the jump. Braun Strowman, middle to the end of hour number 1. The announcements with Johnny Gargano in next week's fucking show. The main event cage match. It looked like he tried to spread some shit out, so maybe the ratings will spike in different areas. It's a different approach than the format we're used to. So it'd be interesting to see if this works. And that was Monday Night Raw, 9/5/22. Nothing over the top special to talk about. I mean, there was some stuff, obviously. What am I saying? Braun Strowman came back, whether you like it or not. Pretty fucking eventful. Steel cage main event. Man, Dominik really going all in with the Judgment Day. So there was some points, but I mean, nothing over the top crazy to discuss on the show. They're just coming back from the UK, the Clash at the Castle, which was just a really good show. So I don't even have to throw them a mulligan. This was absolutely a decent show from what they just came back with. And I think next week they're really going to stack that deck to go head-to-head with Monday Night Football. And I love the fact that they're not just keeling over. Oh, football's back, let's just take the hit. No. They're going to go to war now. They're going to fight. Obviously, Monday Night Football is going to pull in a bigger rating. It's Monday Night Football. It's the NFL. But you can't use that as an excuse or a crutch. You got to go to war. You got to do your very best to pull in viewership. It's what they did in the Attitude Era, and I don't give a fuck if that era is no more. You still have to believe that your shit is going to captivate viewers. So I like how they're stacking the deck. We'll see what they actually come up with. My name is BC Amplified. Till next time, I thank all of you guys for tuning in. Give you a proper salute early in the morning here. By the time you guys catch this, it'll be a little later, hopefully. Hopefully you guys ain't catching this at 5 a.m., man. Or this will go out faster than this coffee was made, dude. But that's what I got for you guys. I'm sure this is going to be an ever-telling story of the CM Punk situation, the drama in AEW. I'm sure there's going to be so many details coming out over the next couple of days leading into Dynamite. I'm going to try to keep up with it, and the very next time that I can shoot the shit with you guys, we will do such, man. So always just, not just subscribe, but make sure you're notified, that little fucking bell wherever it is. That'll alert you when BC is going live or anything like that, because usually I don't have a lot of time to give you guys a warning. Sometimes I give you guys 20 minutes. I'm going live. So the notification absolutely helps. Don't forget to smash that up. I truly appreciate it. It helps the algorithm. And other than that, go about the rest of your day. I was going to say Tuesday, but it could be a different day wherever you are. Enjoy the rest of your day. Smash the shit out of it. Stay amplified. Whoop that ass. Coffees and ass whoopings. And top guy. And I'm fucking out. No Sasha right now, so I have no outro music. I get the jobber entrance and I get the fucking jobber exit. But much love and respect, man. Till next time, the Amplified Man is out. Check you.